Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacciana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we are going to endeavor to make the video that was requested by our friend Wyatt Bennett on re-wicking an Elgin American automatic lighter. I haven't even looked at the sparking mechanism on this one yet. I just cleaned it up enough to get this far to make this video. And this is one of those that at first sight is very intimidating. We'll see how it goes. What we're going to do is pull the wadding and hopefully all of the wick out of that hole there. If not, hopefully we can get a hold of the wick and pull it this way. I just don't want to leave any old contaminated material. But while that is a very narrow hole, and it may seem like a cumbersome way to get it all out of there, that's pretty much the way all lighters are, all petrol lighters. So anyway, I'm going to start trying to remove this wadding and let's see. I'm not sure what material it is made of, if it's a foam or more of a cotton. Looks like maybe a cotton. May actually be able to get a hold of it. Can't get your hands down in there to get a hold of it like you would with a normal lighter. So we'll see how this works. Well, we've ripped that small piece so far. Maybe as we get it less and less dense in there, it'll come out a little easier. We will see. Okay, maybe. Certainly seems like it's going to be a little bit more tedious than what I'm used to. But I believe we're going to pull everything out of this hole before it's all said and done. I hope you're still watching by the time that we get there. See this old contaminated material coming out of there. Wish that we could get it pried up out of there a little better. At some point here I may speed up the video. If this becomes extremely tedious, then I may even have to go. Yeah, we'll see. Coming out of there, it's just slow. and doesn't seem to want to come out in very big pieces. Okay, so after several starts and stops here and a bigger pile than I initially thought, and almost an hour into the project, I believe we finally have this empty. In order to re-wad this, we're going to go ahead and tear this in half. And then again, over here off camera, I'm going to tear each one of those in half. So the IMCO wire wick, I couldn't get to feed through there, so I'm going to tie up my own wick here. Shown this before with the 0.3 millimeter beading wire. Get that bent straight up. Get it twisted. Don't want to twist your wick up on itself. But get that wick twisted, or the wire twisted up good and tight so it doesn't get hung up on anything. Plunger seat, anything like that inside of a lighter. Inside of this particular lighter there shouldn't be too much in there, I wouldn't think. So we get this spun up good and tight, and then we're going to tie off the end of it. Okay, so then get that good and tight, and now we will clip that off. So we've got our wire tied onto our, it's still the IMCO wick, I just cut the wire part off of it, the wired lead that comes on it. The wired wick that we twisted up, I've shown you how to tie these several times. I tied this earlier in the video when I thought the lighter was empty of wadding. So we'll see. It's not the straightest. Hopefully we can get it fished out of there. And we got enough of it down in there now. See if we can get this pick. And I can see it. We ought to be able to get it out of there. Okay, there you go. You can see the wire. So other than the wadding part, you're going to wick this just about like you are any other. Now that we've got it pulled through there, we should be able to keep it straight, keep it lined up as it's going down in it. And we may have to narrow this down a little bit.
Okay, so be careful not to pull too much of it. So we'll get that pulled down there to where we can have a good enough amount to clip off here in a minute. So we've got our wick in place. We can go ahead and cut off whatever of this length we're not going to use, which we'll go ahead and go about like that. So now we are just going to, we're going to start feeding this back down the hole. And I'm not sure exactly how much of it it will accept. Let me just see those picks there, you're not even going to be able to reach as far as you need to reach. So in order to get it as far as you need, you're going to need something a little thinner. So just an observation, something a little bit different from when you're removing the wadding or putting the wadding back in to most petrol lighters. But that looks like that's going to feed down in there just fine. Swell enough. Go ahead and get it to take a little bit of the wick as we go. Go ahead and really try to get that pushed forward. And I think I will use one of these other picks that doesn't reach quite as far, but at least I can it's a little bit firmer push to it. So we've got that pushed up in there as far as we can. We can still get a little bit more here on the back end. So we'll go ahead and take it down with the wick. And hopefully we have that wick interspersed in there as evenly as possible and get the proper action that we will need. Okay, so we have that repacked. Go ahead and trim our wick up here. that spread out just a little bit. I don't have any way to spark that, but there is your answer, Wyatt, to how you re-wick an Elgin American automatic Petrol lighter. This was pretty beat up, nothing particularly special about it. Looks like it's made out of aluminum, but you can fish all that wadding out of there. You can get the wick then back in there and fished out, and then the wadding or new wadding put back in. Until next time.